And the concept of the video, I mean, I haven't really thought of this. When you swap weaknesses of the opponent, like here, the structural weakness, for another weakness which is more exploitable, are you in effect doing a positional sacrifice? Because when you do a positional sacrifice, you like sacking a pawn or something, what you're really doing is boosting, your position a bit further to be more effective. So here, I mean, what am I doing with my knights? They've got no entry points. If you look, there's absolutely no entry points. My knight, this one can't go anywhere. I can't play f5, f4. There's no break points with pawns. The knights have no squares. So the only thing I'm left with here is this plan of just undoubling the opponent's pawns, which happens to be a good plan. But in a way, it's a kind of positional sacrifice that I'm swapping, an immediately, an eminently visible, set of weaknesses for something not so visible. But we have to bear in mind this bishop's trapped though as well. So you could, I suppose, look at this as just opening up the position. What I do next. So I play queen f5, preparing to open up the position with d5, because I don't want my queen to be a target on e6. After d takes, knight takes, say bishop c4, I don't want any horrible pins on my queen. So now bishop e2, and now I play for d5. And we see here a quick collapse in the position. It's absolutely dramatic. I mean, if you were judging this game from Rivka evaluation, the opponent loses in about 4 full moves here, about 8 half moves. But here the evaluation is only like minus 0.17. So what happens is, it is magical, it's dramatic to me, how this weakness transformation can lead to a straight knockout blow. So rook c2, so I take on c4, and I believe he blunders, he takes with the wrong thing. Theoretically best, apparently, according to Rivka, is rook takes c4 at depth 14. So rook takes c4 is apparently the best. But even so, black is increasing the advantage, because I've got the d5 square now, finally, for a knight. So I can start attacking things from there. But he plays bishop takes c4, which means there's a horrible, tactical pressure now. After c takes d4, c takes d4. I'll give you 5 seconds, or maybe 10 seconds to be generous. Can you see what I played here now? So starting from now, or pause the video and come back until you worked out how do you get a big advantage here for black. So starting from now. Okay. I mean, I'm shocked myself, even in post-mortem of this game, how I've dissolved the position, and all of a sudden, white's position is totally collapsing because of knight d5. So knight d5 is exploiting, the doubled rook, so he can't take without losing the exchange. And also, not only that, it's threading the really nasty knight b4, using the fact that the pawn's on a5, because that would interrupt, the rook's protection of the bishop. So what is white doing here against this? It's completely lost. The evaluation from being minus 0.20 has shot up to minus 2.43 at minimum. It's a crushing advantage. There's nothing, there's no reasonable defence. Let's say bishop b3 as an example. Well, there's knight c3, so forking queen and rook. So say queen b1, queen b2. So I could take the rook here. In fact, there's an even more apparently crushing move. Trust computers to find it. Knight d1. So the idea is like queen f2s after rook takes c2, queen f2s. So that's no good anyway. Bishop b3 is no good because of knight c3. There's nothing here. What can white do? Say queen b2, knight b4, attacking the rook. So if white has to play an exchange sack, now here, knight f6 is good. Anything's good because Or queen f3 apparently is strong, threatening queen d1. So white's really collapsing. Say rook c1, knight f6. You know, nasty, nasty pin now on this bishop. So in the game, he just immediately collapsed with by playing rook d2. And instead of what I'd intended the night before, I saw that knight c3 was even more, you know, obviously winning, because I'm going to take the rook and take the bishop. So that was it. And it just got me thinking this morning, hold on a sec, you know, this weakness transformation is almost like doing positional sacrifice. It has the same effect. Because the pieces, they're more optimally placed when the position was more opened up by undoubling the pawns. So that's the key point. So let's have a look in overview of the summary. And I'm actually shocked that the game looks smooth, because last night you know, I was struggling to find plans. I didn't realise the game was going to even look this smooth, but it looks kind of smooth in retrospect. That there's a logic to it, that the king, you know, first, well, it shouldn't have castled over here, but walking back to the king's side, there's a logic to it. But he should have just, you know, taken and certainly not self-imprisoned his bishop. So he acknowledged that was a major, you know, error. So that simplified my task, because his potential for positional sacks with c5 is dramatically reduced after this. Because one of the points is to get this bishop, you know, blasting on this diagonal. So that is all lost when he played g3. So my task, you know, gets much simpler. There's far less pressure on my position. And I can start this, first of all, this restraining strategy and blockading. But the strategy changes because I can't go beyond this. I can't increase my advantage beyond that, beyond looking, you know, pretty here with knights without undoubling the pawns. So it's almost as if I'm, you know, doing a positional sack of, you know, deliberately undoubling the pawns, but, you know, translating it to something where my pieces, they're more optimally placed now for something. And it was apparently, you know, this knight d5. It's a crushing move. So rook d2, knight c3, and that was it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.